Yeah, we're good.
All
As long as
righty,
you can hear me.
everybody. Welcome to the Safe Haven. Guys, this is an AMA we are doing with Bet Your Beans. Everybody, I want you to understand something, that everything you hear here is not financial advice, but we're here so that you can make the best decision possible with your money and get a more in-depth look at the team and what they've got going on behind closed doors. So without further ado, this is Matthew and Sam from Bet Your Beans. We're going to start off with easier questions, and as we get deeper and deeper, we're going to go in more. We're going to go more in depth. All right, Matthew, why don't you go ahead and start telling us by who you are and what brought you into this space to begin with?
I'm Matthew, and I am the creator, I guess, slash developer of kind of Bet Your Beans. It's a bit of a baby project of mine that I had the idea for over a year ago. And finally, we've really started to put the steps into motion here. In regards to me, I'm a former project manager over at Grimace Coin. It was a pretty fun thing going on over there, and I decided it's kind of time to go off and do my own thing and try and build something like a proper business. In regards to myself, I'm from Vancouver, being in the film industry out here for around 15 years, working on a lot of major motion features, such as major motion pictures, such as The Revenant, Warcraft, Star Trek Beyond, all that type of stuff. So, I'm very comfortable leading a team of people and dealing with producers and directors and the higher ups to try and make things happen. And I'm trying to bring a lot of that experience to this space here. So yeah, that's the short version, I would say.
All right, and Sam, what about you, man?
Yeah, I met Matt, I would say probably last May here. It was through Bitcoin. We were just chatting through that. And then he kind of, presented this project idea to me, and we just started immediately riffing off each other and got along quite well on it. And it was something that he came to me with the idea of being completely transparent, treating this project as an actual company. And, there are things that come up, hurdles that come up, not just hearing some of these projects that we see. That was immediately attractive to me, and Matt's just a natural leader. He's someone that you can definitely follow, and even if he doesn't know the right thing to do, he's not afraid to ask for help or for questions from other people that can give advice. But at the end of the day, when he makes his decisions, he goes with it and goes with his gut, and it's led us to here. We're about to have a launch where Philly finished our staking platform. We're a good setup. I'm really excited. But yeah, I'm more of the betting side of things. I'm more of the degen of the group, I guess I could say. I'm excited for these championship games here. But always open for DMs if anybody has any questions or just wants to chat, reach out. I am around.
Sam knows how to have fun. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah. Really glad Sam's here. Sam definitely has all the betting and sports stuff that I don't, I'm not as keen to. So he's we don't get along anymore either. So just
no.
Says, yeah, no, we get along really well. I'm like, not anymore.
All right, man. So what made you want to create Bet Your Beans?
Well, originally, I was looking at what is out there and like what's missing in the space out there. And, you get into the Binance Smart Chain and you're trying to try new things, and you go buy a sniper bot of some random dude, and he gives you a bunch of random bullshit code and then laughs at you and leads you on for a long time like he's giving you the real thing. And I was like, man, if only there was a place that you could go, have a middleman do something, and then people can validate it on the end, and then you get that software when it's been validated or anything like that. And we're like, okay, well, an escrow service, let's not worry about that. I was like, what else can we do that's kind of similar? And I was like, well, what if you could play against your friends? Crypto price prediction is a thing, and over under. And I was like, what if we could do something like that, but you could actually pick a calendar date? And what if you could target your friends and have this sense of multiplayer against them and go man versus man? And so I started spitballing it with a friend, and it was like, okay, well, why don't we build a betting dApp where it's you against your friends on anything that you like. And, we brought CoinFlect on board with RJ, who's our very experienced developer. They do custom blockchain tools. I've known them for a long time. They're a registered company. And it's like, well, we can build this betting application and hold every single bet in the smart contract, so we're not holding it at Bet Your Beans. So we're like, thinking about all the systems and all the mechanics that we can do, we've kind of come up with the three main functions where you can do a custom bet. So I can open a window and I can write in anything I want, send that URL to a friend, and they can connect. There'll be a built-in chat right there. We can decide the parameters of the bet. He's going to agree to it. We're going to sign it off. It's going to get sent off on the Binance Smart Chain in its own contract held by the two people. And we at Bet Your Beans are going to take our 5% to further development. And a portion of that is going to go back to all the people who bought the token or NFTs and have staked them. So every bet brings passive income to people, right? What's going to happen is we'll come back from that bet and we'll say, yes, I won, yes, I lost, with the option to actually add a third-party validator ahead of time. So let's say me and Sam are talking about who can eat this sandwich in 30 seconds fastest. Me and him will open a bet. We'll write it in the chat box. We'll say, we're going to put $100 on this. I'm going to turn to DC. I'm going to say, DC, I don't trust Sam. Even if I win, he's not going to say that I won. So DC says, fine, I'll validate. Give me 2% of what the pot is off your $100. We're like, sure, why not? You'll get $2 for being the third wall connected going through that. So in under a minute, you can come on, you can log in, define the parameters, you pick your username that's now tied to your wallet forevermore, and you make a bet like that. Sam will eat the sandwich faster. DC will be that third validator essentially, and Sam is going to get 95% of that pot, right? We're also going to be doing crypto bets that are going to be automatically tracked. We're going to be tying into a crypto API. So now we can say, I think Bitcoin's going to hit $100,000 6 months from now. And I can make that a public bet so people can see it in the list. They can join that lobby. They can chat right there, define the exact bet parameters, and be like, okay, I'll take you up on that. I think 6 months from now, we're not going to be over $100,000 for Bitcoin. And they'll lock it off, and that's going to get sent out into the Binance Smart Chain. Again, they own that contract, and that our tracker will automatically tie into that crypto API and validate that bet at the 6 months time if he won or he won, right? We're also going to be adding a sports API so we can start integrating things like, football clubs and all that. To be clear, we are not looking to be a sports book. We're not coming in with all these leverages and all these crazy odds. This is you and your friend putting your money on the table in the crypto space and saying, I'm better than you are. And gamifying that. You're going to be able to track your win and losses against your friends. We're going to have a friends and rival system. You're going to have avatars that are going to unlock as you play and you rank up in certain areas. You get 5 Bitcoin bets in a row that you win. You could win. You'll unlock an avatar that you can spend a little BYB for and have it on your profile. And people will be able to go and look and be like, who's the best Bitcoin bettor? Who's the best price prediction here? Who's the best at winning, gauging the Chelsea Football Club games. So you can go to this list and you can start targeting people higher than you, start throwing some big bets their way, right? So that's kind of the short version of the platform in a way, but yeah, it's a really unique ecosystem that we're building. That's my 14 girlfriends texting me. I don't have a girlfriend. No time for that. The way that we're dealing with our ecosystem with the BYB token. DC, do you want me to just keep going? Because I can explain a lot and then see what questions are left, or do you want to ask questions as we go?
No, I want you to keep right on going. I'll ask questions whenever you run out of stuff to say. I'll come and ask questions.
Gotcha. And so the way that our ecosystem and GameFi is going to be working is that every time that you do an action on the platform, you're going to be earning some bean score essentially. So the bean score, think of it like Xbox achievements, where there's a leaderboard of who's the most active. So every little thing you do is going to give you this kind of incentive to work your way up these leaderboards and compare yourself to other people. That's actually going to be a minted token. It's got no value, but we're trying to keep as much of this on chain as possible. And so the bean score is something we're quite excited to have here for a launch as well. And the way that our token is going to work is our token is used for two things. The BYB token is used for, essentially, think of it as cosmetic upgrades. You have your our gaming platform, you're playing against your friends. You've unlocked some things and you want to go buy that sick avatar that says you're really good at this. Or you want to buy the Master Bitcoin Bettor title plate that you can put underneath and customize your social profile a little bit. BYB is going to be useful for that. And the second thing that the BYB token is useful for is the passive income. And so every single buy and sell on the chart is going to be sending a bunch of that over to the pool for people who are staked. And every single bet on the platform is going to be given 2.5% of that also into that pool. Because we're trying to build this up very different from a lot of other platforms. You do not need our token to use our platform at all. We're taking in BNB off the top. We're going to be adding other chains. We'd like to take Ethereum in there. We want you to use the application and not even have to think about the BYB token on the back end at the end of the day. We want to lower the barrier for entry, because I've seen too many projects where like, okay, you have to hold this much to do this or this much to do that or buy some of this to do that. And it's at the end, the developers are still just really thinking about that chart. Whereas here, we don't want to complicate it for somebody to come in and drop $5 or $10, once a day. It's all about that income coming in and going back to the people who are staked and invested in the platform. So using the BYB token as essentially shares in a way, you're getting on board early, you're going to be profit sharing, and all those rewards that are going to be coming as well through that pool too are also going to be in BNB. So you're not getting it in BYB and having to sell it or anything like that. You're just getting straight up passive income. And at the end of the day, you're selling a fun experience to your friends to come and play, and that's how you earn money versus get your grandparents, get your friends, get your dog, get everybody to come buy this chart so we can all fucking dump on them. That shit drives me nuts. So we're really separating the business side of the token to what we're doing with the app. We are first and foremost app forward. And if we build this up, the way that we are strategizing to continue it is, you get a fiat on-ramp going in at some point. You have a wallet built in. You have a fiat out-ramp. The dream goal is that you can come on board, and we're marketing this. We're pushing it out there on YouTube with commercials. We have a really interesting mascot. We have a good marketing idea and plan of how to do this using my film experience and really push this out there, something you can come and use without even thinking about crypto on the back end as the long-term goal. Right. The beautiful thing is because we're not taking that pot. If we get Bitboy and Crypto Keep in here and they're going to drop $500,000 into a bet, we're not taking 95% of that and holding it ourselves. Again, that's held on the smart chain. So we don't need a banking license because we're not technically taking your guys' money, holding it, and then trying to give it back to you, which is a very nice boon. We're prepared to register as a company. Our developer is CoinFlect. They've already got their company in Toronto. They got one down in the French Cayman Islands. They understand how to register here in Canada and build properly and get to where you need to go so that you're validated in the real business world. And so that's a very strong direction for us. And obviously, as we build and scale up, we'll be getting lawyers involved in making sure that we're not taking any countries off with us, essentially being a bit of a betting platform. But, we're in a bit of a gray area right now because at the end of the day, we are essentially a utility company. We are a factory deployer. You're coming to us, you're telling us what type of contract you'd like us to create, and we are giving you that contract and charging you a small fee for it. So, we got a lot of really interesting stuff going on. Our long-term looks really bright. And again, there's nothing like this in the crypto space. There's nothing like this in the real world that is really focusing on the Chad bros and the man-to-man. Put your money where your mouth is, get it on the table, and let's fucking go. So, I think we have a bit of a niche product here, and the scalability is huge. When we start adding various sports APIs, and you do soccer, then you do hockey, you do football, the world is really our oyster, and we're going to be building up the social side of this as well. Sam is very heavily involved in betting and losing a lot of money all the time. Actually, he does pretty good. And he understands the market and what is appealing to people, even outside of sports. So as we get going, we're going to be building up our community. We're going to be doing things like custom group bets, which is very interesting. So we'll be able to open it up during a football game. We'll see, okay, we're going to open a group bet. Who do you think is going to win the first quarter? These guys are these guys. And you can come on board. You can say team left or team right. At the end of that, Sam being our auto validator, our team validator, sorry, he can come on board and say, like, okay, you guys win. What do you think about the second quarter? And that whatever team wins is going to take from the other side for that quarter. So the social interaction that we can have is, unlimited, essentially, especially when you get the community on board. When we start building out our social platform where you can go and you can talk to other football club fans, you'll be able to be chatting to each other in our social platform and making those bets. And the long term would be is now, we're doing plays of the week, essentially, with what were the largest bets, what was the most money lost, whether it's across crypto, sports, or anything else that we're adding to the platform down the line. The world is really our oyster when it comes to the community engagement. And, we're trying to avoid the clinical look of most other sports betting platforms where it's all just numbers and basic design. And this is really all about community engagement and having a lot of fun with your friends. So I think I got most of it. We do have our private sale going on right now. That will end on Wednesday, and we're hoping to launch our token a week after that. We're in the final stages of trying to lock down our funding to really get version 1 done. This is quite an extensive platform we're building. There's essentially a deployer contract and then 6 other contracts that are being created for this. And every chain we build on will also require to rebuild those 6 contracts. We've had a couple of people like, we could build this in a week, we could do this in days, and this is not an easy thing, especially when we bring in the social profiles, custom URLs, third-party validators, start building custom bets, and a built-in chat room. This is it's pretty unique for sure. And last but not least is we have our NFTs, and the way the NFTs are working is that's also kind of part of our private sale. The NFTs have a pegged value of tokens in them. So what that means is you can buy the NFT, and you're going to get 1 of 4, and you're going to get anywhere from 15 to 60% above what you would get if you just hopped into the private sale. And you use the NFTs for staking. It goes in the same pool as the tokens itself. So if you're like, I like the platform, I like that all we have to do is get people to use the platform to earn passive income, I'm not looking to sell any tokens, you can buy these NFTs and get really good bang for your buck and just start seeing that passive income go through. And at the end of the day, we just got to get people to use the platform and have a good time. So did I miss anything, Sam? It's early here.
Oh, you are getting pretty good at that. I think you covered pretty much everything. I'm sure questions, but yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
Alrighty. So one thing I want to know is this. I want to go over some questions, play a little devil's advocate, and go over some questions that the community might be wondering themselves. All right. So here's the thing. If I'm already in crypto, and especially on the low cap side, if I'm already feeling like I'm taking a gamble and taking risk, why do I want to come and use this platform?
Well, I mean, it depends on if you're a betting man or not. I mean, we're all betting people if we're here in the crypto space, right? But one of the reasons why this is so appealing to people is because you can bet on crypto, you can bet on sports, you can bet on anything, you can bet on whatever you want in the real world. And having that option to double your money effectively, minus the small take that we have in like 10, 15 minutes is pretty massive for a lot of people. A lot of stuff is a lot of the crypto space, you're spent watching charts and waiting to see what happens. But this is a fun space. And the amount of people who love this idea is simply because they just want to throw down with their friends on stupid stuff, even not even crypto price predictions, has been very, very positive. So you have the ability to, effectively double your money in a rather short amount of time, depending on what you want to bet on. And a lot of people like that option versus putting money in and just potentially watching it die, especially when it comes to competitive things that people do like to bet on, like sports and crypto price predictions, right? And, we're not asking everybody, it's not like there's $100 buy-in to come and bet or anything like that. You could have $5 of BSC kicking around and be like, this thing just launched. I think it's going to double its market cap by the end of the day. What do you think? Yeah, you want to take me up on that? You go throw $5 in. You might walk out of there with $10 later. And you have that fun. You're not just sitting there staring at the chart going, oh my God, what's going to happen? You're like, okay, let's fucking go. I want to take this guy down, right? So it's the everyday average man.
I'd like to mention as well, too, like here in Canada, we're having a massive crackdown on leveraged trading. So when it comes down to it, we're not going to be able to profit as much on something as we used to be able to in the crypto space. There's also a ton of sort of plays that you want to make. If you want to short something, you can't really do it. It's not a regulated pair. A lot of these people that are kind of new investors. So if you want to bet that something is going to go down, there's no real way of making a ton of money, but you can make a bet on it or a wager on it as well. You can't really make money on a flat chart unless you want to bet that it's going nowhere for the next month. So it's a different way of trading, a different angle to it. Or if something's going to raise by $1, you have a lot more upside potential if you make a wager on it than actually just put your money into it. Right?
That was the perfect answer from you both. Wonderful. Great answer. I totally agree with all you guys. Just because crypto is already a risk doesn't mean you can't sit here and bet within the space and use the utilities that are already here in which you're already indulged in. And like you said, Canada is cracking down on leverage trading. And guys, let's get 110% real. They're not cracking down on leverage trading. They're cracking down on your ability to make money, because if they really cared about your risk and whatnot or whatever, they would just go ahead and ban all casinos. And that's the bottom line. But either way, I think this is a phenomenal alternative too. But yeah, I'm pretty sure nobody's ever thought of it the way that Sam just put it there either. But that is a fantastic angle that you just put it there. I appreciate you guys not only doxing yourselves, but also not shying away from any question in any capacity and being straightforward, man. So you guys are looking good to me. I'm liking what I'm hearing and seeing so far. So it's wonderful. One thing I wanted to get to is, why should investors trust that you guys are the ones to be able to make this successful? Because how long have you guys been active?
I'd say we really started chatting about this probably in May. I'd say it was a couple months of discussion.
All right.
Discussion and back and forth. Yeah. Go ahead.
So what investors may wonder is, if it's been May and we're not seeing a large amount of success, well, then why should we believe that you guys are going to be able to sustain something? That's what they might be asking.
Well, May, you asked when we started this. So we started this in May. We didn't really start going public with this, I would say, until September. And that was when we really started trying to recruit and get people into our group, right? Because we spent a lot of time on the back end discussing this. Is it feasible? How's it going to happen? We've seen other projects with a similar idea try and come out and launch and do their thing. And unfortunately, they did a pre-sale. They had a little bit of hype. And then they realized they didn't understand how to actually build it, how much it's going to cost, and how complicated it was. And they built everything around the idea of it versus, is this actually feasible? So, we've been in talks with RJ and CoinFlect. I've known him for almost 2 years now. And we've spent hours and hours figuring out the best way to do this before we ever even wanted to go public and start trying to get people on board into our community, right? So we kind of did our thing in September. We started recruiting people. We had a bit of a pre-sale, and we're fully transparent. I don't fucking hide anything. We tried to do a pre-sale in September. We spent a decent amount on marketing then to try and get that happen, and we went with Pink Sale. And Pink Sale heavily pushed us towards doing a subscription model. It was new. They were really bullish on it. It being out for around a month. And by the time we started our pre-sale over there, people were over the subscription models. Pink Sale did not really push us as much as they promised. And we were pretty disappointed that we went with their advice, because we're like, oh, you're going to support us. Let's make this happen. We also had a very high ask. I think we overestimated. We overestimated how much traction we would get by just being fully doxed, having a good team, and putting ourselves out there, thinking people would still go apeshit over it. But, we all know how October was for the market. And as much as people, they're like, you guys are great, you are doxed, all this type of stuff, people ended up being like, we don't want to do this subscription model thing. We're over that already. So that pre-sale did not go according to plan. And then it was a sit back and be like, okay, how much do we really need to make this happen? Let's look at what we could have done better and how can we turn this around and get this where it needs to be. So we spent a bit of time figuring out exactly what our V1 is going to be. We've slimmed it down cost-wise so we can get something out sooner rather than later and show that the proof of concept works, right? So, and, in regards to us being the ones to put this out there, it's a pretty unique idea. We're incredibly transparent. We're fully doxed. You can go check out my directing website. You can check out my IMDb. You will see that, we are all real people, and, we're here to build a legit business. The amount of projects that launch and say that they're going to be the next big thing, and you have no idea who the team is. They've got some, weird website that's a copy of everything else. And none of that to me shows that they're building a real business or going to be sustainable at the end of the day. Whereas, you've got here a team we will admit our problems, we will admit our flaws, we take community input, And, I'm 38 years old. I've had my own company here that I contract out to the film industry for at least 12 years now. Like we understand how we can build this into it's having its own footprint in this space and in the real world. So obviously, like anything else, there's a lot of trust involved, but you can come talk to us. You can hit us up anytime. We are the first project that's really going to be able to put something like this out there into space. And we just say, come and get to know us a little bit, man. We'll answer any questions, hard questions, whatever you want. We know we got a banger here. It's all about just getting that version 1 done and pushing this thing out to the market so you can see what we're actually creating.
I just wanted to kind of reiterate that a little bit too. We had the rose tinted glasses on in September. We thought, hey, this is rolling. The ball's moving. We thought this is going to be great. We're going to hit a pre-sale and then we're going to launch and everything's going to be great. It didn't pan out that way, and we're kind of in the dumps for a little bit, but the immediate reaction from the whole team, including our extended team, was, how do we fix this? How do we make this right? Let's move forward. We were going to run. We probably would have packed bags then. None of us, that didn't even cross our minds to do that. We immediately thought, let's address our mistakes, talk to the community, let's move forward, let's get this working. It's going to be harder than we thought. How do we make this happen? And that's why we're here today. We put our heads together, we got it, and I think we're at a pretty solid point moving forward. Really stoked on the progress that we've had here, and looking forward to putting in the work going forward too.
Fantastic. And speaking about pushing it, everybody, it's the classic question, which I have zero issue with. It's when marketing. Absolutely. I love that question. And it's because if people are going to put their money in your hands, and I know a lot of devs don't like this question, but it's very ridiculous. If people are going to put their money in your hands, they have every right to know how far their money can go and what you plan on doing with that money. So what is you guys' marketing plan to push this, because everything's about marketing. You could have a great product or you could have a terrible product. But the marketing, a terrible product can outperform a great product if the marketing is in place. So how are you guys going to market this in a way that will make it successful based off of proven methods?
A big part of our marketing is going to come down, obviously, to what we can do with the actual platform. And so once we actually get launched, Sam's going to be hosting all these events, and we're going to have people start coming in just to be involved in what we're doing. So word of mouth is going to be a big part of this. I spent a lot of my own money back when we did our pre-sale to market this out there. So we've done like the 15 AMA circuit. We have a bunch of groups that are saying, come on back for a free AMA. We love what you guys are doing. So when we actually launch, we're going to be really utilizing those resources that have been watching and following what we're doing to really get us back out there into the public consciousness. Right. We will have a marketing budget as well set aside for this. And we're really looking at the long term with this. We're not just looking for the short gains on the chart. That's really not what this is about. The chart is all about come on board, hold, and we just get people to use the platform and have fun. Our long term marketing is going to be catering to a little bit outside this space. Our mascot is Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk. It's literally the perfect story for crypto. This guy sold everything he had to buy some magic beans. He threw them in the ground, climbed up into the clouds, fought a giant, and got the goose that lays the golden eggs. I mean, that's the story for everyone. So, as we get the ball rolling, we start to get the traction. We're going to be bringing people on board and influencers to come and place some bets on the platform. And one of the unique ways that we're essentially going to be creating our own marketing is we're going to be doing something called custom group bets. And I kind of mentioned it briefly. But the way that our gig economy is going to work is, we get BitBoy here and we get Crypto Keeper. They're two, pretty well-known influencers. They're going to drop a bet for $1,000 on whether Ethereum is going to go 5% or down 5% by tomorrow or whatever they want to do, right? They go, and that's a public bet, and they talk about it on their channel. Now they're going to say, okay, you guys, you know what? We want to get our community involved in this. So they're going to splinter off a child bet on that, and it's going to be a group bet. So they create the bet up here, 1 versus 1. Then they make a child bet off of it that lets everybody come on board, and they can pick Crypto Keeper's side or BitBoy's side. What's going to happen is they're going to get a percentage of that pot from that entire lower half, right, from that child bet. So if they get $50,000 in that lower half, and they're charging 1, 2, 3, whatever percent they decide to choose before they start promoting it, they're going to be making money off these group bets that they're actually marketing, right? So they're incentivized to come up with a really good bet idea, go public with it, make a child bet off it, and then also encourage the community to come on board. Who do you think is going to be right? And they're also making money off that as well. So this gig economy is going to be encouraging people to come on board, get in, and these influencers are going to be starting to push this project out on their own. They'll be making some income off the fun bets that they're sharing with their community, which is a pretty unique way of structuring this, right? And with our mascot from Jack and the Beanstalk, we're going to be shooting some funny little commercials and viral videos. You got the two Chad bros playing in a bar. He's like, bro, I got no money on me. He's like, I don't think you can sink that ball. What are we going to do? And you got, Ryan Reynolds in a costume popping up and saying, oh, you want to bet your beanstalk? Yeah, put your money where your mouth is, lads. So we aren't just sitting in here going, hey, we're going to hit call channels and we're going to hit the users here. We want this to be fun, approachable, and appealing to anybody in the crypto space, even if they're new to it, without having to come on board and nerd over a chart or the BYB token price. Come on board, they connect the wallet. In under a minute, they're spending some BYB and they've got a bet on the table against their friends. And again, as we branch out, we get the fiat on-ramp and everything. Like word of mouth is really going to start sending this thing, along with the marketing, that we have planned with our calls and some press releases and stuff like that when we launch. But we know it's going to be the community is going to be so important to what we're doing here.
All right, sir. Great answer. And speaking of community, we're right around that 40-minute mark, which is where we like to let our community step in and ask some questions. So if you are cool with that, we will go ahead and let the community go ahead and jump in and start asking some stuff. All right, let's get Dwicky first. All right, Dwicky, go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you. I have one question here. My question is, there will be a leaderboard of the social betting platform. Will the person at the top of the leaderboard get a special prize or maybe another advantage? Thank you.
Yeah, so the way that we're going to be doing stuff kind of with the bean scores, like if you're top of the leaderboards, you will probably have access to a special avatar that shows that you're the top of the leaderboards. Stuff like that. We are looking at other things that we could release down the line, unlockables, things that might, give you a bit of a bonus for certain betting periods. We want it to feel like you're earning rewards as you go. So that's something that we have in the works. That's not going to be launching with our V1, but it's definitely something that we've talked about and we think will encourage people to continue to use the platform, feel engaged, and feel like they're getting rewarded for coming here and using it as well. Yes.
It's good, bro. Thank you for your answer.
No problem.
All right,
Thanks for the
let's go
questions.
ahead. All right, thank you, Dwicky. Let's get Victor now. All right, Victor, you can go ahead, sir.
You hear me?
Yep.
All right. So my question is, I've been following the Bet Your Beans project for quite some time now, and I do own one of the founders' NFTs. So I'm just curious, what are the benefits, considering the fact that you guys are planning to create the BYB tokens? So what are the benefits of holding those NFTs on the long run?
Yeah, so that NFT that you own is worth a certain amount of pegged value of tokens. So if you spent one BNB for that NFT, you've got around 115 to 160% better value than if you just dropped one BNB in it for staking purposes. So I don't know, what did you get? Did you get a gold? Victor, you bought a long time ago too, so it was probably cheaper,
it was the
right?
bronze. It was the bronze. Yeah, it was the bronze. I got it for around 0.25 BNB.
Yeah, understandable. Yeah, so your NFT is actually worth around one BNB now because we raised the price of them over time, right? So you're already 4 up on the value of your NFTs. So, but yeah, you're going to stake that before we ever launch. And then as soon as we get going, it's just like you bought a big bag of tokens and you lock that in. You're going to be getting passive income right off the top. The second people start trading on the chart, the second people start placing bets and that money is coming through, you're going to be able to go and claim your BNB whenever you want, that you're going to be getting rewarded.
All right, thank you. And finally, my last question is, in regards to the bet score, are there plans whereby, because the whole idea of creating the bet score is for showing a leaderboard for active members. So, are there plans to?
I think we lost the second half of that question, Victor.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So as I was saying, yeah, in regards to the bet score, are there plans whereby we'll be able to convert those bet scores into other digital assets,
No, that is
or it's
just a
just
way. It's just a way of tracking you, but doing it on chain, so you can't exploit it because we're minting tokens for that Bean Square system. Nobody can come in and suddenly fuck around with it and add a million Bean Square to themselves. Whereas if it was off chain, there's a lot more room for exploit. So we're keeping it on chain. We just mint that token and it's right there and it's very public and visible.
all right, man? Thanks for your answers and thanks, DC.
Yes, sir. Of course, you're welcome. All right, let's get Search Trust up. Let's hear from Search Trust. Hey, man, what's up? Go ahead and answer my question. We got a lot of
Yeah,
hands today.
I'm good. Thank you very much for the opportunity. So let me go straight to my question. You say during the betting, there's a place whereby there's a moderator who will serve as a middleman between the betting party, if I'm right, because I saw it from the website. So the moderator who will stand as a moderator during the betting, it is from member of your team or is just someone from the community?
No, so if you're going to place a bet, like if you want to make a bet, you create that bet and then you share that URL to whoever it is you want to play against. That's your guy's bet. You can add a third person, so you can talk to anybody that you want and then also wallet connect with them and they can kind of be that referee. But it's your guys' bets. You guys pick the bets, you guys write it up, and you guys essentially own that smart contract at the end of the day, right? So now we will be doing things where you can come on board and reach out to us. Hey, we want to do a really specific sports bet. We'd like to try and get this going on. Sam, do you mind moderating this for that? And Sam would be like, sure, because Sam's on the team. He's going to be a very fair judge, and he's going to look into it and make sure that there's no problems with it. But no, you guys are creating these bets, not us. Yeah.
I'm just saying this because so that we have a fair play between people. Because in a situation whereby a person who is not trustworthy should be as a middleman, there may be a kind of conflict between them. So it would be good if the trusted team member will stand in as a middleman so that to avoid any kind of unforeseen situation whereby it would be a kind of distrust between the party.
I mean, ideally, at the end of the day, it's up to you guys to know that who you're playing against and who you're bringing on as a referee is somebody that you trust. Like, you must have a circle of friends on Telegram that you trust, right? And you'd be like, yo, you're going to get a small percentage of this. Can you come on board? We're going to do a friendly bet here, right? So just like anything else in this space, like, you have to have some sort of trust of the people that you're playing against, right? For us to have a moderator be doing every single bet and validating every single bet is going to be very difficult, because at the end of the day, if you and your friend are making a bet about who can eat a sandwich faster, how can somebody over here really know what's going on there? You know what I mean? How we can't really validate that. So that's where it's going to come down to, like anything in crypto, the user having an understanding of the security concerns, knowing who you're playing against. There will be opportunities where team members will be able to bet on stuff, but when it comes to the sports API and the crypto API, there is no third party to validate that. That's automatically validated by the bots that are going to be tracking and validating that for you. It's only when it comes down to a custom bet and very specific bets that you guys want to create. Now, something that is going to be happening is we are going to be building a bit of a trust system. So when we really get the third-party validator stuff happening, somebody can be a validator for hire, be like, yo, I'm super trustworthy. Look at my ranking. It says here, I'm a great referee. I only want 1% of your bet, and I'll come in and I'll validate that bet in some regards. as long as it's a bet that they can validate or somebody that in your group, right? But so we're trying to build some stuff in place. So at least if, everyone has a profile when they come in, you can follow and be like, yeah, this guy looks like a decent validator. He's got a really good track record. I'm going to hire him to be our validator for this really random custom sports bet about how many yards were thrown. Because we probably won't be able to validate that on chain. But this guy can come and be like, yeah, I'm really good at validating football bets. I'll do it for you. I'll confirm the results. Let me Google it, do a little bit of research, and he'll come back and validate, right? So we're going to be building up a bit of a trust system for that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, DC. I'm just saying that to avoid manipulation. Thank you, sir.
Hey, no worries.
Okay,
Brother.
yeah, you're cool. Appreciate it, man. But there you guys. In case y'all didn't pick up on, just to reiterate, when we think of betting, it's not just like sports and stuff. You guys can if you have like a private group or any type of group. I mean, I personally plan on using this. If you have a private group or anything like that, y'all can be like, who do you think can make the best call? And then everybody's betting on who they think the best caller is. Like I could easily see communities using BYOB so they can do like, who do you think the best caller is? Or, the person with the most bets on who the best caller is wins this. Or who do you, caller competitions. Like it could be a new thing. When we do giveaways, we could do like new betting stuff. So I think there's a lot of room for this to like grow and not only be a fun thing, but be a useful thing for other projects and companies to spread out their bandwidth in this space. So I think it's super cool with that. But just letting y'all know, it could be anything like he said, like who can eat a sandwich the fastest, and devs get on VCs and mess with their community and whatnot. And if everybody's doing that, well, then that really just helps the project. So just wanted to reiterate that point for everybody so we could, I wanted to make sure everybody could see the potential and how much this could truly spread. I want to make sure y'all understand that. All right. Rayhan, go ahead, sir.
Hey, DC, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, my question is about your betting platform. So that you have mentioned that we can bet many. So my question about related to the sports. How much time will be given to the people to place their bet on sports? So like, can I bet before ending the match, or I can bet any of the time in between the sports time?
Yeah, so it'll
Yes.
kind of depend on that a little bit. And with the community bets, if we're doing group bets, we're going to have to end it at a cutoff because, scores change, the odd lines change. But when it comes to if you're watching a game, we'll have different tags. So you can go to our application, you can look. If you're watching, let's say, a cricket match or the Bengals game that's going on today, you can see, okay, what bets are active about this. People will be creating bets and finishing bets all throughout the game. It just depends on what your bet is, right? So if your bet is third quarter specific, or how many times does somebody take their helmet off, that has to be a live bet kind of thing, because it won't be, or you can set it up before, but you can make that bet all throughout the sort of match. Really depends on what you're going to be betting on. But if it's going to be a group bet, we'll have to end it at a certain time, just because it changes the odd line or the actual ability to sort of assess the situation, right? But you can bet on anything during the games or anything, because we're not a sports book. You can say whatever you want, whenever you want to, pretty much, about that sort of stuff when it's a private bet. It's just, if it's very unfairly weighted, odds are somebody's not going to take you up on it.
Alright, Sam, I have one last question about your staking. So in your website, you have mentioned that holder or stake their BYB token to earn passively from trading and betting platform fees. So does that mean that only holder can stake their tokens can earn the rewards, or anyone holding gets the reward?
You have to stake to be getting rewards. Yeah, that's kind of the benefit of having the token. Is you come on board and you stake it. Again, you don't have to spend a token to be using the platform, right? So you come on out, you stake your token, stake your NFT, and you'll be getting that passive income through the BNB reward pool. Now, one of the other things too that I forgot to mention is the current plan is that we're also going to be giving out our supply over the course of 5 years. So we're only launching with 20% of our supply. We've got some set aside for exchanges and all that type of stuff. But what's going to end up happening is like if you come on board and you stake your BYB token, you stake your NFTs, you're going to be in a BNB reward pool, and you're going to be getting essentially a BYB emissions pool. So that supply that's sitting over here on the side is going to be coming to everybody who's staked over the course of time. So we're literally just going to be giving you guys tokens for holding. So your value will continue to go up. We obviously expect some people to take those tokens and they're going to obviously sell, but that's the way that the crypto space works. But there's going to be people going, hang on. So if I just sit here and I just keep holding and I just keep getting people to use the platform, I get more and more tokens given to me. I get the passive income coming in. And they see what we're building as a company and really pushing ourselves out there that it's like, why would you want to sell this thing? Because we're actually building something legit here. So the emissions of our supply is actually a really interesting part of what we're trying to do here as well.
Got you, man. And also, will there be any restrictions possibilities so that individual can cap their betting limit and frequency?
One of the things we don't want people with gambling addictions to come on board and also spend their life savings here. We will be putting some safeties into place as we really grow to make sure that, we're warning people if maybe they're betting too much or if it looks like they have a problem. We want to make sure that when people are placing bets, they understand the risk that they're taking. They are placing a bet, etc., and stuff like that. But because we're not doing a casino, it's not like there's slots in there. We're not saying come on board and just start dumping your money out. You still need to have somebody to bet against, or you need to look at all the bets that are open and tap into them. So you still kind of have to have someone to play with versus you can't just come here and start spending money all by yourself. So that takes a little bit of time, just figuring out the bets that you want to make as well, versus going to a casino and just throwing your money away, right? So.
Yeah, there are also options too that a lot of applications have where they allow you when you first create your profile to say this is the max amount that I want to be able to bet with. And you can set those things for yourself before you're in the mindset of wagering. I know for myself, sometimes I'm watching a football game, I'm down a little bit, I want to make a crazy bet. Everybody's different, right? So you can set those sort of metrics and those sort of limitations up while you're in a clear headspace. That's one of the things that we can do to sort of negate those things. Another thing that I've noticed when I was researching all of this is that the lowest rates of problem gambling occur when there's a social aspect to it. Like in communities like China, where weddings, New Year's festivals, the gambling is just sort of part of the culture, and the rates of problem gambling are much, much lower than when you come to an area where they're, using sort of these creepy tactics of the jingles and the colors and everything like that in order to keep you around. We have no intention on doing that. We want to make sure that there is support access available, fully displayed on our page. That's something that's important to me, is making sure that we allow people, if they are having any crisis or trouble, that we can help support them and help them get the support that they need.
Okay, got you, man. Thanks for the answering, and thanks DC for the opportunity.
It's all right, Hen. We always like it when you're here. You know that. Let me see. Let me go to the bottom. Oh, there's Vlad. Let me get Vlad up here. Hey, Vlad.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, buddy, you're good. Loud and clear.
Yeah. I have some issues with TG. I think most of people have those when someone is sharing the screen, you just can't hear anything. So I just, wrapped my voice chat so I don't see the screen actually, but at the same time I can hear at least. So yeah, great that you hear me. A couple of questions.
Sure.
First of all, I was pretty interested about the API feature you plan to plan to integrate into this project, into your platform, into a peer-to-peer betting platform. But yeah, what actually I was interested in, so as you have your own DApp, but if someone else is using your API and, for example, to create similar DApp, like a peer-to-peer betting DApp and stuff, investors, as I understand, not investors, I'm sorry, like bettors, they need to connect wallet somewhere. So in case if another team using your API to create their own platform, do I need to connect wallet to their platform, or it will still be connected to Bet Your Beans DApp, because if someone creates DApp, what I know is if I place a bet, my funds will be safe because a custom pool is created. But I'm not sure if a third party, provides that safety for everyone who connects the wallet to their platform, and that's the way they actually can scam people and stuff. So yeah, I was interested in.
Right. Yeah. So the API itself is not something that we will own. The API is something that we're going to create a bot to communicate with and just keep track of. It's like how you can have a website and you can bring in Sportsnet, score listings on the side and all that type of stuff. There's already APIs out there that are watching the games, gathering stats that for a fee you just tie into, and your contract will talk to it and it'll give you the results that you want. Right. So there's no manipulation of that API, but we don't own that API. We're simply building the bot that's going to tie into that API and validate your guys' results. And if people are going to try and copy or clone this and do whatever they would like, this is a pretty hefty amount of development to go on here. It's why it's not a cheap project. Essentially there's 7 contracts that have to get built for every single chain that we come on to. We are building a factory deployer of contracts as well. So we're not as concerned about people coming in and trying to, steal what we're doing and do anything with it. At the end of the day, we are the original of this idea, and there's a lot of work to go into actually making it launch. So if you see anybody out there that tries to take what we're doing, just let us know, and we'll send them a very angry email. But
Yeah.
so the betting platform will really be strictly on our website, in the mobile, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, just because what I was actually thinking about, for example, you have your own betting platform, like your own DApp, and you said you have that bot for just you don't own that API. So I just, in a scenario when someone, for example, uses your API to create custom website for a specific sport event, and you can see like in the bottom of the website, like powered by betyourbeans.com and stuff, so that you see, okay, they're using this guy's API, so this is this is trustworthy stuff. But then you actually connect your wallet to their website, and you don't know what happens next. So that's I imagined. And that was actually my concern about this stuff.
The only way for them to really do that is if they want to rip our website off and put it in an iframe and have a fake wallet connect up on the corner, which at that point anybody can do with kind of any website on the internet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For them to
Yeah.
use our DApp, that's really how that will work out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, because not much information about how API works and stuff on your website as for now, because as I understand it will be added later as soon as V2 is released. So yeah, that's why I actually asked. But another question, like a shorter one, like was just interested if you will allow like for people to create not only head-to-head bets, but also like pool bets with a jackpot, for example, where 100 people can put their money into on some specific event.
Yeah.
For example, an action stuff or something like
yeah,
that.
So that's the group bets. The group bets are going to allow us to do stuff like that. That's where you can create a group bet and then share it to all your communities, and people can come and say, I think this guy's going to win, or I think that guy's going to win. You can have as many people as you want come in and place their bets on whatever side. And then, you obviously have the cutoff time that you would have picked. So maybe like halfway through or, 15 minutes into sport, you would then have a cutoff, and you can't take any more bets, right? So group bets are a big part of this. And the world is our oyster with the group bets as well, because we're doing something like we're going to be building something called the Ruggernaut bot. And the Ruggernaut bot is you can go take a contract address and you can post it here in Achilles, and you'd be like, hey guys, look at this token that just launched. Do you think it's going to rug or not? And you say yes, you say no. Everybody can pick a side, and one side's going to win, obviously the money from the other side. And you'll define the parameters of that. We'll have that be like, okay, 80% drop in under 24 hours. We'll call it a rug. Does everyone agree to this? And so now you've got this, Ruggernaut bot in Telegram that people are coming on board being like, yeah, I think it's a rug. I'm going to throw my money over there. People might come and take the other side that say, I don't think it's going to drop 80% in 24 hours. I don't think it's going to be considered a rug. And two people might hop on that side, and you get 40 people on the other side. Those two people win the 40 people's money. You know what I mean? So like the Ruggernaut bot and the custom group bets are where we're really going to get a lot of engagement in Telegram with people coming on board. Like, I got a great bet idea. I'm going to open this up. It's going to be automatically validated. I'm going to get 2% of all the money that comes in. And now I'm incentivized to go put this in every single group that I know and get these people throwing some money into it too. Right.
Yes, what if, for example, the contract owner who creates the rock project, places a bet, so the project will rock and rocks people and wins even more money, from a custom bet and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's up to them. There's only so much we can do about that because, again, that's outside our control, right? So it comes down to the space and people understanding what they're betting and playing on. I mean, somebody could launch a project, be like, do you think it's a rug or not? And somebody on the other side could be watching it drop 75% and be like, fuck no, I said it's a rug or it's not going to rug. I'm going to go dump like $3,000 into this and pop that chart back up. And you could convince everybody else on that team to be like, come on, guys, we don't want to lose. Let's go. Let's just all go put $15 in here and pump this chart back up too. You know what I mean? So the community interaction will be pretty interesting when it starts to happen. And we could see some pretty interesting chart movement on whatever projects people use that for, right? But that's just one of many examples that we can do group bets. Yeah.
I understand. So that's like a more funny game, not like an actual bet, so it will create an additional incentives for people, to push the chart and stuff and other things. So like a cool feature for maybe projects which are launching, just to keep the momentum and to keep that growth and for people who are in that bet, to push the chart to win. So that's nice stuff. And also last question. I'm sorry for a lot of questions, but can you actually leverage your bets? So can you request higher odds for the peer-to-peer bets, or those will be just placed around the funds you own?
At the top here, we're not having leverage in odds or anything like that right now because that's a much bigger contract built to try and do something like that. Yeah. We could potentially have that later on down the line. But, one of the issues, like the world was my oyster when I was coming up with this. I'm like, man, it'd be great if you could both just enter a page and you could both change the parameters. But realistically, when it comes to Web3 and running an adapt, you can't have that. I would like to think that everything is like working a Google Doc with someone and you can both change stuff together. You can't do that. So, finding the correct workaround is one person can only change the parameters of the bet in the multiplayer lobby that's being created, but the other person can see the parameters and what's being changed, right? And the person can't create the bet. They can't modify anything until the other person has signed off on it, right? So there's no room for manipulation there, but it's not quite as easy to come on board and start trying to do odds and stuff like that. And one person has to fill in all that information and make sure it's trustworthy as well and not fucking around. And it really is a much bigger contract. So we're keeping it simple. We'll be like, it's $100 buy-in. Somebody joins your bets. They'll be like, hey, can we maybe do $50 and I'll take you up on it. The one guy will change that $50 to whatever they wanted to do. And that's kind of how it is. We're making it even across the board, but we would like to scale into features like that. It's just a lot more development time. And a lot more money than we currently have. We just want to come up with proof of concept, the basic product, the bean score, the fun interactions, and really just start building from there. And we believe once the snowball starts rolling down the hill, we're going to be able to do a whole bunch of really interesting stuff that caters more specifically to bettors who like stuff like that.
Yeah, I understand. So, basically release the version 1 products and, create revenue streams and stuff, and then see how people actually react to this kind of stuff. And then you can actually keep developing and bringing new things to the table. So, okay, Matthew, because I can't see your name, actually. I can leave you for answers. Yeah, and great answers. Yeah, thank you. And sorry, guys.
Thank you.
From me.
Wow, man. Okay, good questions.
Alrighty, thank you, Vlad. That was good. Alrighty. Let's get with Ziggy.
Nice.
Sorry, I got
Ziggy.
kicked out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, thank you. Okay, so questions concerning the NFTs. Is there a way for from if I'm getting this right, you can buy the NFTs pre-launch and you won't be able to sell it for a while, but you can earn from those NFTs, but so
Yeah. So
then
sorry. Go
yeah. So
ahead,
would
Ziggy.
there be a way to? Sorry, go on.
With the NFTs, the value, there's a value of tokens kind of attached to them, but there's not real tokens in it. But you're getting staking rewards from the pool and from the emissions of the token, as if there was real tokens in that NFT. So you can only ever sell that NFT if you would like to. And that's kind of the way that works. But yes, you'll be able to stake that before we launch, before the chart comes out, and you'll be in that pool right away to start getting rewards right off the top.
All right.
The other thing about the NFT is because of the way we've done this, and as far as we know, we are the first to do anything like this and peg a value of tokens to an NFT. It's very unique in this space. What that means is if you've got 145,000 tokens pegged in value to that NFT, you're going to be getting those rewards, right? Now, if we launch, and we go up 10, 20x, that NFT is going to scale with that. That NFT will be worth 10 or 20x because it's got a certain value of tokens locked into it. So the NFTs are going to go up with our market cap in value because someone might be like, oh man, I got to spend all this money to buy these tokens, but this has got this NFT for sale for a little bit less than that. You know what I mean? So our NFTs are 1 BNB right now. If we're at a 10x, that NFT is probably going to be worth 8 or 9 BNB, simply because of the fact people that understand what we're building, the passive income, the long term of this, will be like, man, I want an NFT to come back in here, right? So it's a pretty interesting take on how we're doing it.
Yeah. You actually killed my question with that because I was trying to ask I was trying to ask maybe the selling process of that NFT basically. So if you want to sell it, but yeah. Okay, let me add this piggybacking on Victor's question earlier.
Yeah,
so he
sure.
was trying to ask whether you can convert your score to maybe a monetary value. So I was wondering, since you said no, would there be a way for you to actually gain from your score, saying that maybe you have a high score and stuff like that? Well, is there any actual incentive to having that sort of high score, or is it just there for I mean, that's not the point of the project, I get, but would there be any value to the score if someone would like something like that?
So the gamify, having fun with the platform and having people come back and using it again and again is a big part of what we're doing. So the bean score off the top is a way to actually make you feel like you're involved and competitive against other people. You might see your buddy on there who's got a little bit more bean score than you. So you might go make like 5 $2 bets on if Ethereum is going to go up to a certain market cap in the next 2 hours. You know what I mean? So you can get a little bit more bean score for every bet coming through. The bean score is a system to see how active you are on the platform, right? As you go up and you hit certain milestones, again, we're going to be unlocking things for you to spend a little bit of BYB, and we'll have some sort of marketplace coming a little bit later on down the line. We're like, okay, I really want to add this avatar, or I want to add some trim, or maybe I want to add this cool title plate here. So my profile is looking better than my buddies. So we want to have some unlockables and stuff like that. And really, like, the long term of this, we want it to kind of be like you're playing a game. I would love to get in here a random, like you open up a chest or something like that, and you get a free gift once in a while, or if you play a certain amount. So those are the milestones that we would like to hit and build towards, that we can reward people. Maybe you have put enough in or done enough bets or hit a certain amount. Maybe we can give you something that will, bring a percentage off the betting fee for the next couple of bets that you place. So we want to build that stuff into there. Again, that's a little bit more of a longer term. But we want people to feel like they're getting rewarded for what they're doing, yes. But your rank on the leaderboard does not necessarily mean that the higher your rank, you're paying less for anything or this and that. That's, we got to get the basics done, get it out, get the proof of concept, And then, we'll have somebody dedicated to the GameFi side. And how do we make percentages work? How do we make sure that we have enough for growth? And how do we reward people for using the platform and coming out and playing so that they want to come back and play more, right? So there's a lot of work that we're going to have to do for the long term in regards to rewarding people, but we really do want to implement something that makes them feel valued for the work that they're putting in.
Yeah, I actually do understand that. Thank you. I appreciate those answers.
No worries. That was a really long answer for like where we would like to do that, but we're not diving into it too much yet.
Yeah, I get your point.
Alrighty. Thank you, Ziggy. Alrighty. Let's go with Favor. Okay, so guys, now I'm gonna give about another 20 minutes. Matthew, if that's good on your time. And guys, we're gonna we're gonna do one question per person now, okay? Now, y'all know how it is. When DC says one question, he means one question. All right. I mean this. Alrighty. Favor Joy, go ahead and ask your one question. Favor Joy, you can go ahead. All right, I'll just go to somebody else. Okay, Edith, your mic is up. Okay, Favor, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Go ahead and ask your one question.
Okay, so my question will be based on the language barrier. So what are the criteria you have? We talk about the crypto world these days. English language have been
Sorry, can you say that once more?
about the language. What are the plan you have for the Spanish, French into this project?
Oh, you mean like are we going to have like language translations and stuff like that so people from other countries can come and play?
Yeah.
Yeah, we would once we get going and we have the development funds to really we have a good runway to go and can carry forward. We'll be listening to our community members and being like, what community would you like to see on here? What language do we want to build and have translated and all that? Yes, we would love to obviously involve as many countries and languages as possible for this, for sure. We're starting out with English though.
Alrighty. Well, there you go. Thank you, Favor Joy. Good question. A lot of people need to know that. Okay, Agent Smooth, you're up next. Go ahead.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hey.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you very much for the opportunity, DC. Okay. So I want to know, since this project was live since May, so I want to know what has been the most exciting thing that has happened to the project. What is the team so proud about?
Yeah. So I mean, while we weren't really live in May, we didn't really start pushing this until September, when we really started building up our Telegram and stuff like that. I mean, we're very proud of the work that we've done on the back end to understand how we can make this and to have all the mechanics thought out properly to actually build something that's unique in the space. I think that's what we're most proud about. We know that we have something pretty unique here, and this could do bangers once we get out to market. So, just after all the conversations and hundreds of hours we've spent figuring it out, we're most proud that we know that we can build something that is unlike anything out there, and that this thing could be incredibly massive in the crypto space and outside the crypto space for sure. That's probably our number one thing, is this is actually possible to do, and we know how to do it. We just need support from communities to help us finish getting the V1 done with some development.
Awesome. Thank you very much, DC. Thank you, Matthew, for your answers.
No worries. Thanks for the question, bro.
You're very welcome, sir. All right, Edith, you can go ahead now. Oh, Edith jumped out. Oh no, there goes Edith. Edith, go ahead, man. You can go ahead. I like that profile picture too. Smoking cigarettes, listening to some music with some old headsets. Smoking too much too on a yacht. Must be one of them Silicon Valley tech geeks that got super rich. They ain't really all that interested in being. They're flashy enough to where they want to enjoy life, but they're not at the point where like they're flashy where they want to enjoy life, but it's not like a rapper, like 30 gold chains and
Yeah.
and whatnot. Yo, Edith, go ahead, man. My fault, G.
I think Edith just went. That was who was just
No,
talking.
Smooth. That was Agent Smooth who just did that.
Oh, okay.
Well, if Edith is just gonna sit there, well then I'll just go on to Blessed One. Okay, Blessed One. Go ahead, sir. Alrighty. Go ahead, Blessed One.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Okay. Telegram was kind of a glitch out here. So I sent some of my questions in the chat, but I want to know, right, in the situation whereby okay, this one was sent to the chat. So I want to know, do you have a kind of a legal backing in the betting features where people are pretty crazy and might sue this project for whatever reason, and the court might kind of request for an illegal certificate or backing that kind of authorizes the betting feature. So is the team gonna look into that?
You're talking about making sure that we're protected legally. I think that was your question, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So right now, because we're small and we're just proof of concept, we know that we can roll this out and start ramping up towards that, especially as we register our business here in Canada and down in the Cayman and the French Polynesians. So we know we're good to go where we're at to kind of get this out there and start letting people use it. As we scale upwards, we're going to register the business. There will be a lawyer involved, making sure that everything is on the up and up, and making sure that we're not breaking, international gambling laws or anything like that as well. So that's just a very, very large expense to get a lawyer involved and have them go over everything. And so we're just when we have the money for that, and before we legally register, we'll be going through everything legally and make sure that everything is on the up and up, and we're all good, and we're not going to get shut down, and everybody can come and have a good time without potentially getting in trouble.
All right. Thank you so much. And it's actually amazing that you have that in your plan so that you get prepared for any shit that comes out. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thanks, man.
Great question. All right, let's go ahead with confidence. Okay, hold up a second. Bonanza Lizard, go ahead.
That's a great name.
All right, Banana Lizard, go ahead. All right, moving on to Shamir. All right, Shamir, go ahead, sir.
Thanks, man. Can I ask my question? Can I ask my
Yeah, go
question
ahead.
now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, my question is because everybody here want to know what are the most biggest challenges or any circumstances you have faced when bringing up this your project, because everybody here want to know about it. So I would like you to tell us.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the biggest challenge is how do we build something that nobody's built before? That's always a fun part of it. And then the second biggest question is, how do we make this safe and secure that people feel confident using the platform and that they're not going to lose their money? Those have definitely been a couple of our big challenges. But, we've got them both figured out right now. And obviously our third challenge is, getting the development money we need to finish this thing off. Those have been our three biggest, but, we're feeling very good with where we're at. We understand what we've built already, which is essentially the staking platform has been fully built, all custom in-house. The NFT minting platform has all been built custom in-house. Now it just comes down to getting the betting dApp done, right? So yeah, those have kind of been the three biggest challenges, and we're essentially on step 3 right now, which is just getting the fundraising so that we can finish off V1 and everybody can start using it.
Okay. I would like to ask one more question. And also, what plans do you have in place to increase the visibility of your product among non-crypto investors? And because we all know that the success of a project attracts new investors who are unfamiliar with crypto sector. And also, when are you gonna launch, and how much liquidity will be provided for launch?
There's like 5 questions in there, I feel like. We're hoping to launch. We're going to end the private sale on Wednesday, and we're hoping to launch a week after that in regards to that question. And we're looking to add minimum 10,000, roughly 20% of what we raise is going to be going to liquidity with a minimum of $10,000 going into that. So, and then in regards to visibility outside the crypto space, that will come when we're ready for it. Right now, we are still very crypto centered, but we're going to have a lot of eyes on this even when we launch in the crypto space from potential investors, and we think VC funding will likely come our way when people realize what we've built. But when we really get the fiat on-ramp, out-ramp systems figured out later on down the line, when we start marketing outside and onto YouTube, that's where I feel like we're going to start to get a little more noticed in the real world. But it's really going to come down to how easy can we get people to come on board, throw $5 down, have a good time, and get the money back later if they win. You know what I mean? So there's obviously a lot of steps to do that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, DC.
At the end of the day, too, it's almost like marketing 2 different projects, right? Its first marketing is centered around the crypto space because we are selling NFTs and tokens. But when it comes to marketing the product, we intend fully on marketing the product separately from the token in order to get a wider variety of different users and different demographics that don't really have platforms to wager on right now.
All righty. Let's get one more. Let's get Blue Lady. Go ahead, Blue Lady.
Okay. Can I ask my question, sir?
Well, who said that?
That might have been Shamir.
Nah, Shamir, you already asked yours, man. Blue Lady.
Okay. Please.
I said you already asked yours.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
No problem.
Samatu.
Blue Lady, you can go.
Okay, Samatu, please.
Blue Lady, go ahead and ask your question, please. My Blue Lady. Doom, 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 doom. Okay. Let me go to PCI then. All right, PCI, go ahead, sir.
Hey, thank you, DC. Do you have in mind a specific way to reach out to people from other parts of the world, such as South America, for example, because they really like to gamble? I wanted to connect that with the leverage access in crypto, because here in South America, we have full access to our leverage, and we can basically go all in like times 50 or times 125, which I think is the maximum. So what would be the thing that you could offer to attract those? Because in some countries, all they have is leverage, and since betting is restricted in some countries, so they are like, hey, let's go there instead, of keep playing around with the leverage.
One of the first things I was super interested in was moving into these different areas like China and South America, especially in regards to Brazil. Like the Jogo do Bicho, I know is a very popular game down there, and we would be interested in sort of operating something similar to that. As far as the leverage trading, that was sort of asked earlier as well. Unfortunately, in the first versions, we won't be offering any sort of leverage betting systems, but it's definitely something that we'll be looking into in the future there. We definitely have plans to expand it to different markets, and it also touches on that language question as well. We have connections down in Brazil that we plan on using for sort of getting it out there and making sure that when we translate, it's not just a Google translation, it's a cultural translation as well. Because different areas have different styles, different interests, and different sort of advantages when they're making these bets and playing these games, right? So we want to make sure that we're not just transplanting a North American product into South America. We want to make sure that it culturally fits as well with the different styles of gaming and betting that they do down there. But yeah, absolutely, we do have plans to outreach into China. We have plans to outreach into South America and a wide variety of other areas as well, instead of just having a Eurocentric sort of betting system.
I mentioned the leverage because all they have there is just that, a way to let's say to do something varied was like a betting. That's what I mentioned that it is banned in some countries from South America, so it will be a good thing to offer them like a special way to get out of that and experience a betting. So thank you. Thank you, DJ.
Absolutely, brother.
All righty. Good question, man. That's what's up, PCI. Good seeing you here. A nice profile pictures. Let's go straight to Paragon 3.0. All right, Paragon, you can go ahead. Paragon? Does anyone know what Paragon means? I can teach y'all. Paragon means a top example of something.
You guys can hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
All right. Nice presentation, Science. Like, I saw something on the website that caught my attention. So, where you said that is under BYB Founder NFT. You said that this will help the project. Like it will help fund the project without giving excess token to the private investors to prevent a dump. And this the value of the NFT will kind of scale with the market cap. So from what I can understand from this thing is just that you are giving private sellers, like people that invested in the private sales, opportunity to buy, but they are not really getting full access to the token. So, and you are kind of pairing it with the NFT. So my question is that if this happens and nobody knows the certainty of the market, so and I happen to stake my NFT and the thing started yielding, like the NFT started yielding token for me, and the market started going down. Do I have when do I have the opportunity to unstake it so that I will not both lose what I invested in the token at the same time lose the value of the NFT? That's my question.
I mean, it's like anything else in this space. You can buy it, it can go up, it can go down. You know what I mean? So you could buy that NFT and, we're expecting people to sell on day one. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. But you can unstake that NFT and sell it whenever you would like, But, we offered the NFTs as yes, there's no actual token that you can sell that token, but you can always sell the NFT. But, we've designed the NFTs as a long-term hold. You look at what we're doing and what we're building, and you just stake that NFT and you just forget about it, and you watch the rewards come in, and you watch the tokens come into your bag. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the benefit of using the NFT versus buying the token is you get more bang for your buck if you're going to stake and earn rewards over a long period of time, right? But you can stake and unstake whenever you like.
Oh, okay. That answers my question. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for me as well, Paragon. Good work in here. All righty. We got 127. All right. We got time for just one more question. All right. Uzgi Angel. Let's go. All right. Uzgi, I got you unmuted. You're free to go anytime you want to. The floor is yours, but only for a moment. 3, 2, 1, and the moment has passed. All right. Confidence. I see you there. Confidence, go ahead.
Thank you very much, DC. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, great. So I actually have a question concerning the mobile app and the data that's going to be stored in the mobile app. Literally, many projects I see that actually have betting platforms and try to incorporate user data, when you bet and get some lucky random wins and some other stuff. It kind of like feels right, since it's built on the programming language, a lot of things could happen, perhaps transaction failures, perhaps we could have server error or maintenance or whatever. These things could happen right in the project, especially in the server side. So what plans do you have to manage the server in a way that you won't have errors in transaction, and maybe you're not gonna have this problem or this glitch when making a transaction, in the application, especially trying to bet or especially trying to reward users?
Yeah, so the guys that are building this are the guys from CoinFlect.com. You can go check them out. Incredibly smart blockchain developers. He can start talking about the nodes and how fast they've got their stuff able to work and fly, and he will talk circles around probably everybody in this room, myself included. I tell him all the time, I'm like, man, now you're speaking French to me. So like, a big part of what we're building is having it work successfully, having it work fast, and making sure that we don't have those transactional issues. So we're not very concerned about that, because essentially our DApp is also the mobile version is essentially just going to be tying into the DApp that's online on our website. So we're not looking to be storing like extra information or anything on there at this point in time. And the DApp that we release will also be very unlikely not on any of the major stores off the top. There's a lot of procedures to go through there. We'll probably have to get registered, deal with all the gambling stuff, and still not sure entirely if we'll ever get sanctioned fully for the iPhone or an Android store. So our DApp will also just, our mobile version will probably be released on a website, or we'll give you a URL and it'll just load up the DApp on the mobile URL version. It'll have the wallet connect and everything else, kind of like you expect. Unfortunately, our technical guy, RJ, is not here because he could talk a little bit more about the nodes and stuff like that. But we're not very concerned. And again, a lot of the bets that are being placed are longer term bets. We're not looking at a rapid fire system. It's not like it's super important to if you get this bet in this second or not. You know what I mean? Versus trying to buy and sell on a chart. We're like, let's go, the chart's dumping. I want to get out. Everything here is kind of being designed towards you're aiming for taking your time for stuff and watching to wait and see what happens. So I don't think we're going to have too many issues with making the transactions go through.
One thing I want to kind of step in on too as well, their confidence is we're kind of taking the author approach to this as well. Instead of having a bunch of you're sending it to our company, or company's holding it in our wallet, we're not doing anything like that. We're issuing a smart contract to two people that are betting against each other with a third-party validator if they choose so. And then afterwards, if the parameters are met, it's released back to those people. We don't have a bunch of different areas that this is going to. So it's really just a trim the fat approach is kind of our main strategy to making sure that's efficient and lean going forward.
That's pretty brilliant, actually, because I was actually thinking when you have a lot of traffic and people trying to bet in the same platform at the same time, it has this problem. Maybe since everything is going to be built on programming languages, right? And it's not actually based on blockchain. The app is actually built in programming language, and since a lot of people will be betting on the platform, there's going to be a possibility that maybe some endpoints, some other areas, and because of the traffic, it could affect the betting. Maybe I tap a bet like $1, and then it's not reflected in the user, in the other party or whatever. Kind of like have this problem, right? So that's why I wanted to ask about how it's planned to manage. But as you said, you're not really focused on the backend side, and then since your developer is not used to, it's going to be pretty difficult to really understand the part of the stuff, right? So yeah, it's a pretty good concept.
Absolutely, brother. And that's the thing too, is like you said, if it's all through our application, if there's something like the Super Bowl going on, it would bottleneck and reduce that. However, deploying the contracts to each bettor is going to definitely eliminate that and reduce that. Thanks for your question, Confidence. That's great.
Yeah, well done, man. It's a pretty good project, pretty good concept. Well done, man.
Thanks, man. Feel free to come by our group, ask us any questions. You can tag RJ in there too. We're always happy to answer them, man.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the giveaways and the trivia questions. All right. So I want to thank everybody who came out and had a question to ask. I appreciate you guys coming out for us. I appreciate you guys representing. I want to say thank you to the team here at Bet Your Beans. You guys have done a good job of representing yourselves and explaining the project. Very transparent, never dodgy or anything like that, which is what we love to see here at the Safe Haven, man. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to these giveaways. And yeah, let's go ahead and get to them. So the winner of the best question will go to Vladlin. None other than Vladlin. All right. So Vladlin is the winner of the best question. Let me get his at. Okay, where's he at? Let me see where he is. Okay. All right, let me get it to Dumbledore. Point 2. All right, now the first trivia question is this. And y'all know the rules. Y'all got to wait till I type it. All right, y'all got to wait till I type it. Even if you get the answer right, if I haven't typed it, it doesn't count. All right, here we go. Let me see. Got. All right, everybody pay attention to the comments if you want a chance at winning the trivia. All right, go ahead. 1, 2, and 3. Aiden Smooth, that was stupid. Vlad wins. It's bet your own beans, not bet your beans. It says it's a whole word that you guys skipped out on. And Vlad just comes in and says BYOB. Me and Matt said it during the thing. Man, I screwed up. It is bet your beans. My fault, Vlad. It's bet your beans. It's not bet your own beans. I screwed that up. All right, PCI won. You already won, Vlad. It's all good. It's BYB.
Man, you were so disappointed in yourself. I felt your sadness.
I was like, damn, DC. Let them know how you really feel.
Yeah, because I could have sworn Matt said BYOB during the AMA. So we got that's the first one, and then the second one. Now this is gonna be a bit harder. Okay, that was so funny, man. That was hilarious. That was perfect. Oh my god, that was so you were so disappointed. Okay. All right, for real now. Okay, here we go. All right. Here's the next question. What industry does Matthew's other company operate in? Yep, Fallon won it. The film industry. All right. Fallon won that. Let me get over his name. Somebody said America. Okay. All righty. So there goes the best question, the 2 trivia. Now the next thing we got is this. No, it's not sex toys, Jesus Christ. The next one is going to be, all right, what I'm trying to pick between 2. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go with this one. Who? All right. Now only a true Naruto fan would be able to answer this question. All right, here we go. Everybody pay attention to the comments. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Boom. Who uses Heaven Concealed? There you go, rival. Madara Uchiha. That's it. Madara Uchiha. Nah, that's too late, y'all. Y'all be trying to cheat, man. Y'all be trying to type it in. Y'all be trying to cheat, man. All right, those are the winners. All righty, I just sent them all to Dumbledore. That is it. Okay, everybody. So great session. Thanks for the team coming over here. You guys did a wonderful job. Community, you did a wonderful job asking questions. If you didn't win this time, it's all good. Just be attentive and come back another time. But
yeah, guys, we do have an AMA coming up on Monday here on the Haven, and there's several First Surge X. Achilles launched. If you guys aren't aware, he launched a coin as well. There's an AMA today for that, and tomorrow with Venom. So lots of AMAs. 3 more coming up in the next 48 hours.
yes, sir. But without further ado, you guys, let me stop this recording.